Hey everyone! Today we're creating a stunning watercolor pencil sunset, a super fun and beginner-friendly project. If you've ever struggled with watercolor pencils or aren't sure how to blend them smoothly, don't worry. I'll be sharing my best tips and tricks to help you get beautiful results. Plus, I have a free printable watercolor template to make this even easier. If you want to skip the drawing and get straight to the coloring, you can grab it in the description below and follow along. Let's jump in. Right, before we get started with our watercolor pencil artwork, let's just go over the general art supplies you need to begin this. Make sure you've got a pencil, some paint brushes. I'm using size 6 soft bristle brushes, your watercolor pencils, a sharpener because your watercolor pencils you'll find tend to be used very quickly and become blunt very quickly. Make sure you've got a rubber, as well as some good quality paper like this 300-gram paper that I have here, this paper pad. It's hot pressed, which means that it's got a very smooth surface, so it lends itself to lovely gentle gradients or blending. Okay, let's start by taping down our paper onto a firm surface. These are the colors I'm going to be using today. You can pause the video here to note down the colors I'm using, or you can just head over to my description and have a look there. To start, you're going to lightly draw down the general shapes of the mountain and other elements of the landscape as well as the sun. If you're uncertain about drawing and would like to get directly onto the coloring, you can download my free template to help you get your proportions right. I've put the link in the description below. I then take my kneadable rubber and I'm going to start removing a lot of the pencil marks. This is so that when I work on top of it with my watercolor pencil, I don't get dirty colors. I keep my colors clean and crisp. Once you've done that, you can start laying down your first layer of watercolor pencil. Here I'm using a blue, and I start from the top left-hand corner opposite my dominant hand so that I don't accidentally smudge my work as I go along. This sunset sky that I'm drawing goes from a blue to a yellow to an orange with touches of coral on top of it. As you can see, I'm slowly layering my color and building up the intensity of various areas. This is very much like standard colored pencil coloring, where you layer colors on top of one another to create new colors and new combinations. Now I'm going to start with my mountain peaks, and I'm using this soft purple. And then I'm going to use more of an indigo blue for the second set of mountains. And as my mountains start moving further towards or closer towards the viewer, I'm going to darken them. I'm also going to take my purple and I'm going to start working some of that purple into the indigo. For the sun, I make sure it's completely clean, and I'm going to just add a touch of yellow around the edges, making sure the outline is left crisp and clean, and that there is a white highlight on the sun. This just gives it a sense of glowing. Right, once you have that first layer of pencil down, you can then wet your brush and you can start activating your pigment. Make sure not to have too much water on your brush, otherwise it's more difficult to control. And then I'm going to start from the top left-hand side or top center area of my drawing. And I like to work from lightest to darkest. This is just so that my lightest areas remain crisp and clean. And then I work my way downwards. When I get to the mountains, I swap to a smaller brush, a slightly smaller brush, just so that I can get finer detail with my brush. As you can see, I don't completely paint all of my watercolor pencil marks. This is because it's quite nice to have that combination of loose watercolor and a hint of pencil texture. Right, now I'm going to start layering a second layer of color on top of my dried or now dried watercolored areas. And then once again, I'm going to start painting, activating that with my wet brush. Now I want to create an intense area at the bottom, intensely dark area at the bottom, which will be my silhouette layer with trees on top of it. So I'm going to layer black, my ivory black, as well as my indigo, and even some purple. And then I'm going to start building up my trees. I'm doing this with pencil first, but later I will use my micron brush pen to create really dense black areas. And now I'm going to activate it with my brush, and then create more of a darker blue at the top of my image. Once everything's dry, I'm going to grab my white Jelly Roll gel pen, and I'm going to now just add some little star elements, just little irregular dots all over the darkest area at the top. This just gives it a whimsical, magical feeling and the sense that evening is upon us. And then I'm grabbing my micron brush pen. I'm going to just move this paper over my drawing so I don't smudge it. And then I'm going to work into my trees one at a time, just carefully defining areas and building each of them up. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe for more creative tutorials and arty inspiration. And there you have it, your watercolor pencil sunset is complete. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and felt inspired to create your own. Don't forget to grab the free printable watercolor template linked below so you can follow along. Thanks for watching.